Morning, everyone. I will be, everybody please rise for the reading of the word. So it's going to be Jeremiah 11, 18, and 20. Because the Lord revealed their plot to me, I knew it. For at that time he showed me what they were doing. I had been like a gentle lamb to the slaughter, led to the slaughter. I did not realize that they had plotted against me, saying, "Let us destroy the tree and its fruit. Let us cut him off from the land of the living, that his name be remembered no more." But, O Lord Almighty, you who judge righteously, and test the heart and mind, and let me see your vengeance upon them. For to you I have committed my cause. Like me to read 2 Timothy 2. For the 2 Timothy 4, 2 to 5. The things you have heard me say in the presence of many witnesses, entrust to reliable men who will also be qualified to teach others. Endure hardship with us like a good soldier of Jesus Christ. No one serving as a soldier gets involved in civilian affairs. He wants to please his commanding officer. Similarly, I knew what it was. I just can't say it. Likewise, if anyone competes as an athlete, he does not receive the victor's crown unless he competes according to the rules. That's been changed over the last few years, right? Everybody gets a trophy.
Yeah.
Now, I like the
Will you read
2 Timothy
4,
4,
2 through 4? 2 through 5?
2 through 5. Did I do it right? No, I read 2. It's deja vu all over again.
Hey, well. Go. Now the final sound familiar.
Okay, I'll be reading this time 2 Timothy 4, 2 through 5. Preach the word. Be prepared in season and out of season. Correct, rebuke, and encourage with great patience and careful instruction. For the time will come when men will not put up with sound doctrine. Instead, to suit their own desires, they will gather around them a great number of teachers to say what their itching ears want to hear. They will turn their ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. But you, keep your head in all situations, endure hardship, do the work of an evangelist, discharge all the duties of your ministry. That seems to go a little better.
That works.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, being in another country, you get to be a little humble when you go to explain something, and they don't have the words in their language. That everybody just stood there, or sat there, and said nothing, which I thought was a good story. Until another interpreter came up and said, he told me later, well, there's no word for that in our language. Okay. And then I say I understood it, and it says, then they agree with it. But it's a humbling experience when you're up there trying to explain something with an interpreter. My English isn't that good to start with, as you can tell. But things went smoothly. Bishop stayed awake the whole time. I can't say that. But without further ado, Bishop Robert Guy Larkin presides.
The word was slavery. In a country that was responsible for slaves coming in to England and America, they have no word in Swahili. Out of 41 dialects of Swahili, no word for slavery. No word for slaves. And as Randy alluded to the story about a tribe, a group in Africa, or South America, as he related to that, and went on to say, they used the word slaves, they just, like 300 people said, they had no idea what he was talking about. And the interpreter's going until one of the other, Godfrey had to stand up and share with them. Slavery is in Swahili, prisoners. Isn't that amazing? I hear all this hullabaloo going on about my ancestors having slaves and all that kind of stuff. They don't even know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And the very people that rounded up people from other tribal areas and took them to Zanzibar and sold them as livestock, the very people that did that had no word for slave in Swahili. Well, I probably shouldn't think about that. But I thought that was kind of cute, and Randy thought he laid the big one. He thought he dropped the big one, which was kind of, yes.
It was ready to happen.
Ready to happen. But he did nothing wrong. He just used a word that we were accustomed to that they had no idea what it was. And so goes things in Kenya. I'm going to give you a brief rundown. Wednesday night we get more particular about it. But a brief rundown is, of all these years, since 2007, when we bought the Keating property, which was divided in 2003, Mr. Labanga never paid the balance off that we had sent for him to pay off the Keating Church, which we have put a building on, and since then tore all the mud walls off and put iron sheets on the walls and poured concrete, made a concrete slab, and spent another couple of $1,000 for a toilet. Now, don't get all excited for those of you who are going to come with us this coming year. Oh, wow, we have a toilet at Kiki. Yeah, we do. It's a his and hers.
Yeah.
Home floor.
Yeah.
That's it. There's no seat. If you try to sit on that, boy, that's a mess. But anyhow, all that we had done to that property, and even after we spent, collectively, all of us, those of you who donated, $647 to have electric put in the church. Right?
Right.
After we did that, Randy and I met with the people, and we were responsible, and it happened. Well, then we find out that there's still money owed. 23,000 and something. In other words, we had to pay out 63,000 shillings. And also we had to pay to send a runner from the Kuru town to Nairobi to get the deed taken care of, get it back in our name, because see, it was still in the seller's name. And at any time they could have come in there and yank it out from under us. So that pretty little deal cost us about $1,200 to $1,400 till we got everything, maybe $1,500, we got everything taken care of. But it's ours. Nobody.
Crazy work.
Hallelujah. Well, then, there comes up the bill for the attorney. They call it the rent for the trial, for the files. The rent for the files. So what do you mean the rent for your files? Well, it's the cost of the rent, renting the files, the space that they kept it there from 2003.
Wow.
Every year. You go. So we're in a third world country, no question about it, third world country. And then I hear these idiots, and I will say idiot in the Bible, I'm sorry, Lord, even though your word says idiots. Call no man an idiot. Well, whoever the idiots are that it falls into their lap, they aggravated about the elections in the United States of America, which is, some of it is crooked, some of it is put up. But for the most part of it, as a fellow who is the head of the CID, which is like the CIA here in the States, the head of the CID of Kenya, he said that in America, we have one of the fairest democracies there is. And the chances of fraud, even though there is some, are almost nil compared to our country. And I was reminded of Daniel Moya, who was president of Kenya for 24 years. And they had an election then. And he was voted out. And he stayed another 4. He just didn't leave. So he had 28 years there as president. When you think about stuff like that, and I'm telling you, when you think about what goes on in America, even though there's some opposition and there's some problems, it is still the greatest country in the world. I know, I've been there. And now I'm probably going to get in serious trouble. If you want to find it out, grow a pair of them and come with us sometime. Come with us. And I'll guarantee you one thing. Gary and everybody else in here, you'll appreciate America.
Oh, yeah.
You will appreciate it. Oh, man. Well, now we didn't stop there. We go on with the fact that in Malaba, who we've been paying every year, we pay $350 plus to rent the property. We find out to pay it off, they have tripled the price to pay it off. Because as we paid to rent in our agreement, in fact, Sandy has it in her files, our agreement to pay it off, to rent it until we pay it off, didn't have a final quote. And so therefore, what we thought would be about $2,200, hey, it come out to about $6,000 plus. And then on top of that, the associate pastor there in Malaba, are y'all holding on to your seats?
Yeah.
Fasten your seat belts. The associate pastor at Malaba, he takes up and goes and takes all but 2 people in the congregation with him. What do we do now? What do we do now? Pastor Wycliffe, his wife, and his son and daughter, who are like 9 and 10 or 10 and 11, something like that. and one couple are the only people in the church. It's dying, dying, dying. And if something don't change here, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to die.
Right.
You say, well, I do everything I can. No. There's stuff that we could do. I still don't know what it is we can still do. We can still do it. Anyhow. So we made a decision to move Wycliffe and his wife to Nakuru town, and right now he is associate pastor with Fred Tongolet in a property that we own. We have the deed for it now. We will have it. Hallelujah. And also we paid to move him using some monies that were donated to pay for that property. We moved him from there to Nakuru town. And you got a bad mic, right? You got really bad music. Don't you have a bad music? Have a mattress that's 15 years old, should be changed. Have an old chair sitting in the corner you glued 300 times. Oh, it's terrible. Wycliffe, his son and daughter and his wife, they have one mattress. And they brought that to Nakuru, full of bed bugs. That's all they had. The only furniture they had in their house. So, Brandon and I, being a representative of this church, saw to it that Wycliffe had the money to move him, his family, and his mattress to Nakuru. And also, we rented a place for him. Now, it's going to be a lot of money a month. $60 a month. 2 bedroom. It has electric, but it doesn't have running water. Well, yes, it does have running water. The wife Celeste and the daughter will take the 40 5-gallon drums and run for the water to some place where they can find it. And so, the monies that have been donated down through the years, and some recently, were used for a good cause. Put the pastor and his family in a place that's reasonable and close to the Kiki Church, and eventually we will be going away, working into another area for a church where we live. But it didn't stop there.
Can I ask a question? Will we get half of our rent back for what we paid on Malava this year? Is that the place with the well, with the water?
Mhm. We won't get anything out of it.
Because we weren't there the whole year. Yeah, I know it's kind of, I know.
Now, they were part of the year.
Okay.
Wycliffe struggled with 4 or 5 people. Couldn't keep it going. The guy's sharp. He can sing. He loves the Lord. He's very good at what he does. And I gotta look at it this way, God has a better plan.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
So therefore, then we move to Grace Fellowship, where Godfrey is. Met with the man who owns the property there, that eventually will get that taken care of. And I'll tell you what, he talked so low, he talked so fast. Randy said, I'm hard of hearing, and I said, my brain can't process as fast as you're talking. And 73 years old, I get it. And she goes, hold it. We just can't understand what you're saying. He's deaf and I'm old. No, I didn't say that, but that's what I was thinking. Because he told him he was hard of hearing, hoping that he'd keep up. made a contract with him and signed up, got things squared away, that any rent that's paid, and we've been paying for about 2 years now, 120 a month rent on that property. And that 120 a month will be applied 100% within the 2 years that we signed a contract for. 100% of the 120 will go towards the bottom line. Also, we had in the contract about the sale of the Shabbat church. Now, for those of you who don't know, the 17th of November, Daniel will be going to prison. It's been a long time since I've been so happy about somebody going to prison. But he'll be going to prison. And as soon as he goes into prison, we will have the police together and go in and retrieve our property.
Amen. Praise the Lord.
If necessary, until the sale is completed, which also I note negotiated to $4,955,000 shillings for the property, which is $50,000 for the property. And if need be, for a while, we'll see about Wycliffe preaching there. We'll see how that works out. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But we gotta trust in God. We gotta trust in God. I heard one yet. Gotta trust in God.
Praise the Lord. Yeah.
I heard a praise there in 2 yes. Oh, how exciting it was. And then they tried to marry me off a couple times.
I did.
He didn't. He kept his mouth out of it. But people got saved.
Amen.
Praise the Lord. People rededicated their lives. That one meeting, there were so many people standing at the altar, there was no room.
Amen.
You can say, wow. You can say, man. You can say, exciting. It's exciting what God is doing. However, there's opposing opposition when that happens. And I put a clock on the bulletin, and the reason I put a clock on the bulletin was this. I was awakened this morning about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and God sharing with me, the Spirit of God sharing with me, time. Let me tell you something about it. Let me tell you something about it. I'm going to tell you something about it. Can I tell you something about it? I'm going to tell you something about it. Hello. Here, over here. Okay. Come here, Gary. Sit right there. Come on, sit closer to me. I won't bite you. Okay. Elizabeth, come and sit over here. Sit over here. Slide closer to me. Okay. Are comfortable? You're comfortable? Randy, would you please come and sit next to Elizabeth?
Do I gotta sit close to it?
Boy, you sit right up against it. You sit right up against him, your wife won't get jealous this time. Well, that's the way it works. Well, anyhow, and then they serve us food. Now, this is the way it is in the airplane. At one plane that Randy and I saw, we come out of Nairobi into Frankfurt, and we were like this. We're just like this. Didn't even have room to do that, Ron. Just like this. Well, then they bring your food, and they put the tray down, and you're sitting like this with little plastic forks and sometimes something else, and you're trying to read. Come on, put your hands over there. Pretend like you're working on. Hey, fella. What are you doing, fella? And then the person in front of you, I had come all the way from Nairobi to Frankfurt, I had a recliner. Not my seat either. This guy in front of me, he reclines. So when they recline, the back of their seat is like this. And you don't have hardly any room to, so this is time. 9 hours. Pardon me, but I have to go to the bathroom. Well, now you can't get up and do like this. That person has to move, or that person has to move. So they're from Frankfurt. That wasn't too bad. Randy, you may leave now. Randy, oh!
I don't have to go to bed.
Oh. You can go sit down. Now, in that plane, it was 3 in the middle. 3 in the middle, still real close. 8 hours and 40 minutes.
How long?
8 hours and 40 minutes. All sitting like this.
I don't think I'm making
Well, you're pretty skinny, but hey, my behind didn't quite fit those seats. Yeah. What the blessing is, Godfrey's cousin got saved,
Mhm.
29 years old. He was kicked out of America for some things he got into. And back to Kenya. And he got saved.
Nice.
He got saved. And there were so many people at the altar, we could hardly get to him to pray for him. And that's what makes an invisible ride, sitting like this. Well, sometimes you can do this. You put your feet out, okay? Feet out. And sometimes you do that. But when you fall asleep, it's like, oh.
They got going out. They switched seats, so we both had room in the middle. Because the guy was sitting next to me was somewhat large, and we seen him in the road. And when we got out, he asked the stewardess, he looked at me and he goes, I'm moving to the back, have fun. So I got more room, because I was in the middle. He was at the end.
We were squeezed together in the middle.
And the young girl between me and another guy was on the small side. So that was good.
That wasn't too bad. The exciting thing about that is, people get saved. People got rededicated their lives, and people, we don't usually know until later on the healing that people get healed. And there is opposition. There's opposition, excuse me, from here in the States. I've had my family, we may have some church members, we have people, we know people, y'all know people that oppose against us going and doing that. And they don't want us to do that. And Jeremiah, when he was, when Randy read what was going on, was they had reached a point, the people at that time had reached a point that they didn't want any more to do with God. They don't want any more to do with God. Amen?
Mhm.
And Jeremiah was told by God to warn the people of the wrath that was coming. We have gone to Kenya back and forth since 1996 to warn the people of what is coming. And guess what? They are pretty much getting it together then in Kenya now, but not in America. Not in America. It's the last part of 2 Timothy 4, 2 and 5 talks about, what about the years? What's it mention, the years?
Well, turn your ears away from the truth and turn aside to myths. But you keep your head in all situations, endure hardships, do the work of the evangelist, discharge all of the duties of your ministry.
And they'll turn their ears. When in the America, now I'm older than anybody in here. Okay. I didn't hear you remark anything, Randy.
Amen.
You didn't say. In my short life in this country, in this world, and in this country, I have never heard of the debauchery that's going on in the United States of America.
Yeah.
Never heard it. The bitterness back and forth. The bitterness going on. If you'd have heard what they told Elizabeth in Eastern High School the day after Trump was elected, you'd be embarrassing to be an American. Not only was it wrong, but it was spoken out of ignorance, what they told her. And she called home and she's crying and upset. And I'm so proud of her
Amen.
because she left the room instead of just punching the people square in the mouth.
Amen.
We didn't know Elizabeth.
If I drop dead this afternoon, I can feel rest assured that we have done, not nearly enough, but we have done so far what God wants to do in Kenya.
And that's praise the Lord.
And I can lay down and close my eyes at night and know that since Elizabeth was with us, she has learned some things. 3 or 4 years ago, she'd have been right on top of that person pounding away. You right? But she's grown enough. And she's learned enough
Amen.
to walk out of there instead of fighting. Jeremiah was told by God to tell him the wrath is coming. The wrath is coming. And when we look at it, these are hard times for churches across America. One nice thing about the election, after January, what's that date?
20.
20.
After January 11, the work will be done to remove the Johnson Amendment.
Amen.
The Johnson Amendment
Yep.
was put in operation into law of the land to keep preachers from sharing their opinions for whatever candidate is running for whatever office from the vote.
Well, they lose
And
their
if
tax
they did-
exempt status.
And if they did, they would lose their exempt.
Yep.
Now, the people who really love the Lord and people really care about what's going on, whether they get tax exempt or not, they will donate. Except in church.
Amen.
They'll donate. Some people donate, put down donation tax exempt just so they pay less taxes.
That's right.
That's why they do it. But you and I, as believers, we should put it in there whether we get an exemption or not.
Right,
That's right.
But after 22nd of January, they will start working on removing Johnson Amendment.
Amen.
Hallelujah. And then I can tell you who to look for.
Yeah.
I was so happy with Nicole. Before we left, she said, Pat, I registered to vote for the first time. In fact, I got a paperwork when it came through. Says I want to, for the first time, I'm going to vote. Hallelujah.
Great support.
She said, and I don't know at this point who to vote for. What do you think? I said, well, I told her what I thought. I said, but the most important thing is you pray about it, you think about it, and then you vote for what you feel, or whom you feel is right. And I am not going to tell you who to vote for.
That's right.
I do wish you'd vote for Trump, but. I said, but vote, you vote, and that's exciting, to vote. I was so disappointed about a week and a half ago, 3 weeks ago, one of our church members, and we have a lot of them, told me they don't think they're going to vote because they didn't like either candidate.
Yeah.
Duh. Vote anyhow.
Great. Amen.
Write Mickey Mouse in there or something.
Yeah.
But vote.
Yeah.
Yes, Linda.
I just told people that asked me that, I said, well, then look at your vice president. And then they all liked Pence. And I said, well, then vote for Trump, because he's with Pence.
Smart answer. Look at the vice president. Yeah. So anyhow, we'll get back to the fact. God told Jeremiah to warn the people. And it's our job, Christ Chapel International Ministry, it's our job to warn the people. It's our job, every chance we can go to Kenya, even though it's a hateful ride. The ride from Nairobi to Frankfurt was so smooth and like floating on a cloud. But the ride from Frankfurt to the U.S. was nice in your seat belts. We're approaching in turbulent weather. Yeah, it was turbulent weather, all right. But no matter what that was, the safest thing over and back is the airplane ride. Let me tell you, Randy, tell them about the ride to the airport Thursday evening. And Dennis, you remember, it's the same. It hasn't changed. The ride to the airport. I imagine if we got a chance to get the same car the next trip we make there, I imagine there'll be a dent in the passenger floor in the front from me pushing on the brake when I was sitting there, and when Randy was sitting there, we pushed it. And the brake, it's going to break on the passenger side.
Was it Joseph?
Yeah, but Joseph. Oh, my. I thought we was in the Indy 500. Actually, no worse than that. I thought we was in one of them derby. It was like one of them derby things. See how bad you wreck a car.
His nickname's Mr. Hydroplane.
Hydroplane. But the important thing is, boys and girls, ladies and geraniums, the important thing is you sending us there. You sending us there was worth every dime, every penny it costs. You sending us there was worth your prayers. When you see somebody go to the altar, and then later on they tell you that there was a burden lifted from their life. When people tell you that, then people tell you their lives have changed since the ministry of Christ Chapel came into their lives. It's where they were there. It's where they were minute in the airplane, worth every minute in the car. It's worth everything. That one day, Randy said, I don't believe that I'll have to eat rice for a long time. We were one place, we had chicken, rice, and beef, and cabbage. The next place, chicken, rice, and beef, and cabbage. The next place, chicken, rice, beef, and cabbage. And that was in one day. And it was worth every bit of that. Every bit of it. my prayer is, and when we can get something together, and I can get Christopher together, and get something together, and then we can put it up on the screen, and we're gonna put up a couple of still pictures, and also the picture of the building that was donated for the Nancy Larkin project, if that ever gets off ground. We got a fantastic building for that.
Praise the Lord.
I thought it was just a little old house, and it's not a little old house. It's a big place. And it's donated to us
Praise
for a clinic. Which in the spring, young Nancy, and she'll be there in the spring. Trina, Carol, and maybe somebody else will be with us to help set up. And we'll need some other people to go along and help get the place ready. Because it's been sitting empty for some time, and it needs some work. We can do it. Maybe Gary can do it. You didn't rob any banks or anything, did you? Okay. You'll be able to do it. But we'll need the arm muscles and strong muscles to get it ready. And then we need the clerical part with nurses and different people who know how some medicine training to help put it together. A place like that in shillings would cost at least 20 million plus just to rent it. So praise God. There was a song that I grew up with. I don't know the whole song, but I do know a little bit of that. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying. Anytime that you attempt to be part of rescuing the perishing and care for the dying, you're going to need opposition. You're going to need opposition in your family. You're going to need opposition in the church family. You're going to need opposition no matter where you go. Anytime that you decide to follow Jesus. That was one of our things that we were talking about in Kenya. We're following Jesus. You following me? Get in line. We're following Jesus. You follow Jesus? I'm going with you. Rescue the perishing, care for the dying. Hallelujah.
207.
207. Well, Ms. Carol, you want to do 207? I know you're getting ready to go to work.